unbelievable image tonight. It shows a very close call. A politician speaking, a man with a gun approaching him at the podium. That gun inches away from the leader's head. Everyone survives this, but tonight so many questions about the images coming into us from Bulgaria. ABC's Alex Marquardt on how the gunman got in and got so close.
He came out of nowhere. The would-be assassin pointed a gun at a Bulgarian politician's head, but failed to fire a shot. He was instantly tackled to the ground by audience members at this party conference, repeatedly kicked and pummeled with fists. Others stood over the gas pistol, a self-defense weapon that is lethal at close range. It's unclear why the 25-year-old Bulgarian-Turkish assailant attacked Ahmed Dogan, the longtime leader of a party that defends the rights of minority Turks. Right now, we're working on finding out everything about the attacker, said Bulgaria's interior minister. Blood and urine samples were taken to find out if there were drugs in his system. In addition to the gun, 2 knives were also found on attacker Oktay Enimemedov. It's unclear how he got into the conference. He already had a known criminal background with arrests for drugs possession and robbery. The politician who was attacked was stepping down as head of his party. The police say today that he's in good health after this attack.
A menacing kidnapper flees down the street. In his arms, a toddler just snatched from a playground. But not so fast. It's big sister to the rescue. Look as the brave 8-year-old races after the kidnapper. She won't let him get away with her baby brother. And not far behind, her 10-year-old brother, also in hot pursuit. He's still got the baby stroller. Now the Wright kids, yep, their last name is actually Wright, are being credited with doing the right thing by thwarting the kidnapping of their little brother. It happened in the small town of Sprague, Washington. Population just 500. 8-year-old Delisha and 10-year-old Brendan were playing in a park near their babysitter's house. With them, baby brother Owen, who was just 22 months old. The kidnapper grabbed little Owen and took off. A surveillance camera outside a grocery store captured the frightening figure running down the street. He almost looks like Frankenstein. Delisha screamed her head off as she followed the real-life monster, drawing the attention of these teens.
It really turned into blood-curdling screaming.
When you kind of pick up, there's a girl running behind him. He's running down an alleyway with a kid. Things don't look right.
A man grabbed a 2-year-old baby child and was running with it. The little kid started screaming.
Kathleen Beatty, the personal safety expert known as the Safety Chick, says making a racket is exactly the thing to do in such an emergency.
Using your voice, using your words, screaming, yelling, help, stranger danger, this is not my father, can be the difference between life and death.
The kidnapper was so worried he put Owen down in a vacant lot before escaping. A little boy who now has 2 new heroes in his life, Big Sis and Big Brother.
Instill in your kids that when they are out in the public, that if some adult comes up to them, they need to have that gut reaction and go the other way and yell and scream as loud as they can.
Local gas station clerk is giving robbers a reason to think twice before breaking the law. A man tried to surprise a local clerk, but it was the suspect who wound up surprised. Elizabeth Alex has the story.
Aaron Jacobs is usually the one greeting customers at the BP gas station, but today he was on the receiving end of well wishes. Customers and neighbors wanted to make sure he was okay. Jacobs was working behind the counter last night when 2 men came in. He says one of them said he needed beer, then began mumbling and approached the counter.
Then started to move my direction, which I didn't actually really notice till I kind of turned around and he was standing right behind me. And then that's when I saw a 12-inch blade coming my way, and I didn't know what his intentions were. I wasn't about to ask.
Despite having a knife, the would-be attacker soon found out the hard way he had picked one of the worst possible targets. Jacobs is a former Marine combat instructor and a black belt in karate with more than 25 years of training.
Fortunately, I was able to knock the knife out of his hand and get him, subdue him in an arm bar submission, and in which I ran him face first into the rack over there.
Jacobs got a few cuts during the scuffle, but that wasn't what he was concerned about.
The store was in pretty bad shape afterwards. The cigar rack got knocked over, which I was worried about that during the time. And then the chips rack exploded. I'm thinking, oh no, not the chips rack.
Shocking, scary, and sad. That's how 8-year-old Jose Alonso describes what happened to him and his family on their way to school. Around 7 this morning, his mother had stopped to get gas at Fuzzy Bee gas station on South Post Oak near the Sam Houston Tollway. Take a look at their surveillance footage. As his mother walks inside, you can see the man pumping gas next to them, looking for his opportunity to strike.
We were just watching him. Like we were doing, what is he doing? Like, we're just looking at him, and for a shock, like, I blink my eyes and I see him open the car door really fast. I told my sister, just stay here and don't do anything.
You can see Jose fighting over his mother's purse with the suspect. The man managed to snatch it away, but that's when Jose took matters into his own hands.
I was scared a little bit, but I told myself, just go with it.
You can see Jose jump out of the vehicle with only one shoe on and run after the suspect.
And I ran as fast as I can, so I reached in and grabbed my mom's black wallet with her credit cards.
The suspect was only able to get away with the purse and keys since Jose managed to hold on to his mother's wallet. The suspect took off in a red Ford Expedition with a woman who was inside the SUV. Jose was left in shock. But when asked why he made such a bold move to get his mother's purse back, he had one thing to say.
My sister's party was coming up and I wanted her to have her party, and I wanted my mom to get all of her stuff back.
72-year-old Chet Dunham had just finished breakfast and was walking up Kercheval Street when Jeffrey Jones approached.
I felt him in my pocket. I turned to see, well, I see him, and there's nobody going to have their hand in my pocket without me reacting. That's how fast it was, just seconds.
This aluminum cane scares off the 5'10", 275-pound pickpocket. Jones backs away saying he was just kidding.
And I'm just waiting to see if he comes back at me to attack me. And when I see his feet are planted, I decide I've got to get out of there and get help. I can't do anything with him.
After sizing him up, Dunham walks into a Bank of America branch and tells a manager, who gets on the phone with police.
So he walks by the window. I tell her that that's the man that tried to pick my pocket. So she's explaining what he looks like to the dispatcher.
Minutes later, patrol officers find the 23-year-old East Point man and detain him. Dunham identifies Jones outside the restaurant he was at just moments before.
And when he observed Mr. Dunham, he thought he was going to be an easy target, but obviously he wasn't.
Police say surveillance video shows Jones standing around for about 20 minutes. A few middle-aged people walk by, but Jones picked Dunham. Clearly the last man you'd want to pick a fight with.
I just hit him. That was it.
Now to the Good Samaritan who pulled his gun to stop a robbery in the middle of a crowded parking lot. Our Rex Russell is live with the story which was caught on camera. Rex?
Well, it certainly was. You know, this is what happens when people take a stand against crime. There was an attempted purse snatching in this parking lot. This store's surveillance cameras were functioning at the time, and those cameras also captured a Good Samaritan's act of courage. One moment she's about to head into the store, the next she's being pulled across the parking lot. In just seconds, a mom out with her 2 kids to go shopping becomes the victim of would-be purse snatchers.
It happened so fast, you know.
Brenda Vasquez manages the Family Dollar. The store's surveillance cameras captured it all.
While they're reversing, the lady's holding onto her purse still, chasing them all the way to the middle.
That's when a perfect stranger intervenes. You can see him there in the PT Cruiser at the top of the screen.
And that Good Samaritan came out and drew his weapon and scared them. And then that's when he pulled them out the car.
Someone snapped this picture of the man holding the 2 suspects at bay. A few minutes later, police arrived.
He's not the door.
Tomasita Medina used her cell phone to capture what happened next.
It was very crazy. It was a crazy day.
A day when a shopping trip would lead to an armed showdown with suspected thieves. Police arrested the male and female suspects. The man who first confronted them purchased some candy for his kids and then drove away.
She was thankful. She was just really scared. She was just thankful that she got her purse back and that everybody helped her. This guy, he's just something else. The way everything happened and how fast it happened and how his reactions to it, I mean, there's nothing really much I can say about that, but he's a hero.
Still no word on who that Good Samaritan is. Police also have not released the name of the victim, but I can tell you that no one was hurt out here and that both of those suspects were taken to the county jail.